Hello everyone, I have a clip here from Avdiivka to look at. Once again, we're going to see high numbers of losses. This clip took place again near Krasnohorivka, so we're going to also check up on some old friends from other videos here. The video playing now happened on the 18th and the 19th, but the video is newly released. So as you can see, this is a decent sized column of armoured vehicles. I'll do a count later with a screenshot. We see them driving past the BTR barbecue and engaging Ukrainian targets. The BTR barbecue we saw in a past video, and there's also a few new wrecks added to the pile. In part 2 of the clip, we can see a burning armoured vehicle near a pile of other wrecks and knocked out vehicles. The burning one goes kaboom, giving us a pretty impressive cope cage toss. We then see the remnants of this armoured column again getting hit by artillery. Then we see some armoured vehicles moving across a field, getting hit by artillery. Then, towards the end of the video, we see a clip of some burning BTRs. Now these burning BTRs appeared on a video I did a couple of days ago, so this means this is likely part of the same incident and the same battle. So these are absolutely huge losses here. All these vehicle losses, and I'm going to do a tally soon, for very little actual gain. Actually, for no gain, they gained nothing. So in this screenshot here we have 11 armoured vehicles seen in the column. I can't tell what exact vehicles these are. Some look to be BMPs or possibly BMDs mixed in with tanks, or some could be BTRs again. In red, highlighted, is a past knocked out vehicle. Impossible to tell if it's an old Ukrainian wreck or a Russian one. These are headed along this route here. I'm going to look at a couple more screenshots first of the action, then I'll zoom out to show this location overall and tie them all together with the route that the Russians took to carry out this attack. In this screenshot we can see the BTR barbecue. You can see the first vehicles of the bootleg riders of Rohan arrive. Gondor would have fallen within the hour if these guys showed up instead. This screenshot gives us a nice tally of the BTR barbecue. I can count at least 11 destroyed vehicles in this one spot. Could be more, as some of the wrecks are pretty close together. I've marked 2 clusters of 3 vehicles each. A couple, such as the MTLB you can see on the left, look like they may be old wrecks, but the BTRs are all recent as we covered them in a video a couple of days ago. Someone watching the channel on that video clued me in as to what happened here. So the lead BTR hit a mine, causing the others to group up behind it, and then Ukraine hit them with artillery. It's actually the same tactic which Russia used pretty well in Zaporizhia during the early stages of Ukraine's counter-offensive. Now, I think this is a good time to get orientated before we move on, so let's check the geolocation of where this took place. This was done by Toaster on Twitter. The blue marker shows where the BTRs are, the blue line showing the route the column came from. We saw in the clip that the column came from the north. Up north, it eventually reaches Ukrainian-controlled territory, so these would have looped around this route, like so, in order to get here, and then started attempting to advance across the field. Our next location is here. 8 wrecked vehicles can be seen here, including the one you see on fire just about to go boom. Now this is part of the same skirmish or battle as a BTR barbecue, so I'm going to group them together with the numbers. So with 11 there and 8 at this new spot, we're on 19 so far, and it gets worse. First though, the location again. So these vehicles again got clumped up at the entrance to the field. It could be the same tactic as last time, a mine to stall them and then artillery to finish them off. We can see a few wrecks are heading north, so the advance, or rather attempted advance, went as shown by the arrow. Let's zoom out. So now we're getting a bit of a better picture. We had 2 attack routes here confirmed, one at the north, who advanced directly west, the other to the south, who tried to advance north. Another screenshot now. Here, armoured vehicles advancing amidst artillery strikes. Highlighted is one that looks to be knocked out, and another in the process of detonating, which brings our tally to 22. Also highlighted in red are 2 stationary tanks, but I can't tell if they're disabled or just not moving. Checking the location of this incident, we now have our 3rd attack route confirmed. I've marked this one as number 3 on the map, and as you can see, these vehicles were heading east. The blue box shows where the stationary tanks were. I think these may have been providing fire support rather than advancing, but it is hard to tell. If they were part of an advance, then they were heading west too, but on the other side of the tree line. Again, these ones I couldn't tell if they were disabled or just not moving. Here, this screenshot, we can see artillery impacting near the spoil heap. This area is heavily fought over, as capturing the spoil heap would provide some elevated terrain which would be useful for Russia or for Ukraine in its defence. You can see some wrecked vehicles littering the landscape, but I can't tell how old these are or what types they are, or even if it's Russian or Ukrainian or even civilian. So I'm not going to add them to the tally, but I will add this area to the map. This is point number 4. I can't tell which way the units being shelled here are heading, or what is actually being targeted, so I haven't added an arrow, just the position. Final screenshot. These are the ones we saw a couple of days ago being hit by cluster munitions. They're BTRs. This proves that these incidents are from the same battle. In one of the boxes are actually 2 wrecks. 4 of these vehicles are BTR variants, the others may be different, and we also have a tank. The tank has its tracks hanging off, so it carried out a successful demining operation, it seems. So 6 vehicles here, making it 27 in total. That is pretty shocking. That's a massive amount of armour to lose in one failed attempt to capture a handful of fields. I don't know who Russia has in charge of the forces here, but Ukraine should go out of their way not to take him out. He's probably a bigger asset to Ukraine than HIMARS. Somehow, I don't think Russian media is going to show these photos or videos. It's hard to claim that Russia is winning when 27 vehicles are burning or abandoned in a field, lost over a period of just 2 days. Let's take a look at the updated map now, with the route what the vehicles travel to, and also the direction of these pushes. So, from what I can tell, there were 2 separate pushes here, on the 18th and the 19th of October, one of which quickly came unstuck at the BTR barbecue at point 2. We then saw reinforcements coming there from the north. I believe these are the same units which reached point 5. So they actually managed to get into the field, so well done, I guess. Point 2. Attempted to enter the next field and got hit hard. Multiple vehicles hit and disabled here. I expect we were going to try and head to and clear that tree line you can see to the south of points 1 and 5. Or it is possible that we were going to loop around and then suddenly start heading west and we thought the field was heavily mined and were trying to avoid it. We then had an attack featuring tanks and other armoured vehicles at point 3. This one, remember, there were 2 tanks possibly providing firing support on the other end of the tree line there. One vehicle we saw getting hit, and we saw another one already disabled with smoke coming from it. At point 4, we saw artillery strikes, but we couldn't see what the target were. There were some vehicles seen here, abandoned vehicles and wrecks, but it wasn't possible to tell how old these wrecks were. We also couldn't tell with point 4 which direction the infantry, if any Russian infantry was there, was heading. So this looks like the intention of this attack here was to establish control over the railroad tracks which you can see just to the west. Here's the final map. So here we can see the route taken. The column we saw at the start was the one which attacked the northernmost bit. So this column advanced like so, into Krasnohorivka, headed through the town, looped around, heading west, then headed south to the BTR barbecue, and then started advancing across the field. I'm sure it was this column which provided the 4 BTRs which we saw on fire. And then we also had 2 more attacks taking place at points 2 and 3. So a pretty wide bit of action here and some pretty huge losses. Here it is on deep states. This area still shown as contested. So all those equipment losses for absolutely nothing. Well done, I guess. I'm not sure if even Russian shills online can spin this as being a success, but I'm willing to bet that they will try. So zoomed out, you can see this took place on the eastern front near Donetsk, this being part of the ongoing action around Avdiivka, where Russia has launched its offensive. So, that's it for this video. There's nothing else really to discuss here. A bit of a longer one than usual, but one which I hope you found interesting. If so, please click like, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks again, and take care, everybody.